WHBC AM Canton. Trusted, reliable, and part of the community. On News Talk 1480 WHBC.
The following program is sponsored by the Medicine Center Pharmacies.
Good morning and welcome to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. I'm your pharmacist, Paul White. We're glad you joined us this morning. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Mercy Medical Center and Studio Arts and Glass, and of course our technical producer, J.D. DeAngelis. In the studio with me is Brad White this morning, a compounding pharmacist. So, pharmacists are often ignored as a source for saving money. As your pharmacist, we are the most accessible healthcare professionals, whether it is a person at the pharmacy or on the phone. There are no barriers between you and your pharmacist. As your pharmacist, our priority is the best outcome for your health. Often that includes making sure your medications are affordable. Today we'll discuss money-saving options in the pharmacy, both for medications and for services that are offered. And to wrap up the show, if your eyes are itching, your nose is running, and you can't stop sneezing, you won't want to miss our tips for springtime allergies. If you have a question, please post it on our live Facebook feed. So, Brad, how about this? How do we save money?
Well, we get questions every day in the pharmacy, and it seems like medications get more and more expensive. And sometimes, even as a pharmacist, when we buy the drugs before we help patients get them, I'm in awe of what things cost. And, there's a lot of medications now that are available generically, and for the last couple of years, the generic prices have been coming down. One thing that's been a challenge, though, is some medications have become unavailable, so sometimes there's some shortages, and we can talk about that a little later. But I guess the first thing I would make sure you do is real simple. When you walk into the pharmacy at the Medicine Center, you should just ask your pharmacist that's there, is this the most cost-effective therapy for what I need? And, the pharmacist may need to ask you some questions to verify what you're trying to treat or what your current conditions are or what your feelings are about your therapy. But really the best thing you can ask is are there other options that are more cost-effective to treat this condition? And I guess one really good example is cholesterol. There's a number of different cholesterol medications out there right now. And some of them are more expensive than others. Even some generics are more expensive than others. And sometimes whether it's your insurance copay or you're paying straight out of pocket, you can get an equivalent therapy to meet your need that can be a lot more cost effective. So really the best thing you can do is ask questions.
Okay. So we got copays on prescriptions. We got cash prescriptions. In the case of the Medicine Center pharmacies, we have a 30-day special price on, 200 items roughly?
About 200 items now, yeah.
And a 90-day special price. The 30-day price being $3.99 and the 90-day price being $9.99. Okay, not every prescription drug falls into this category, but at least for certain medications that are commonly prescribed and generically available, we're able to help you save, in some cases, a lot of money. So we also have some other things going on right now in our pharmacies that can also save you money on other sort of items, particularly blood glucose monitors, which we give you we give you your one and only meter that you would normally need free. And you get a free box of strips also to start out, and they sell, when you need more strips, they sell in our store for $7.95. There's none of this $50 a box and all that sort of thing for blood glucose testing strips. Lancet devices are cheap. Lancets are cheap in our store. We want you to test. We want you to test frequently, and we want you to know what your blood glucose is. So we have some other things going also, and that we could work with you on, and one would be jumping back to medication, one would be pill splitting, and there are some medications, and you can't do this with time-release medications, but there are some medications that the higher strength can be cut in half. You can save money in some cases this way. because the higher strength, when split in half, the individual dose can be cheaper than if you buy the one pill, one strength medication. So pill splitting is an option. Doesn't work for everybody, okay? So we also have our computer system, Pioneer, also can identify for you if there are any manufacturer's coupons available. We can get right into this website, and in my particular case, I think they saved me like $100 a month with a coupon. So this is a stretch. Not everything is that much money to be saved, but these are some of the things that we can help you with. So, and you know what? Our stores usually have 2 pharmacists or more in them all the time. You can call up and schedule an appointment to talk to the pharmacist. Can't necessarily be in the peak time of the day, but maybe it can be. So make a phone call to your medicine center pharmacy, and we'll chat with you. So other services, Brad, you want to talk about those?
Yeah, there's been something recently that's been fascinating to me, and I don't know if the examples will resonate with listeners today, but some medications are available in different strengths and vary widely in price. We have patients that take a medication for their cholesterol. It's called fenofibrate, and there are about 5 different strengths of this medication, and one of the strengths in particular is about 10 times the cost of another. And they make strange strengths because I think at the time the manufacturer was trying to avoid patents and extend their patent. But they make strengths that are really only a couple milligrams apart. So it's something that, again, if you ask your pharmacist, if you get a copay that looks ridiculous, or if we see one that this particular drug comes up and you're taking the higher price one, we're going to come at you and talk to you and find out if it's okay if we talk to your doctor about changing it to the more cost-effective brand. So it's really something that is pretty amazing. But on a daily basis, we do get questions about how to make things more affordable. And one of the themes of late has been it seems like people have a higher deductible plan at many of their employers or many of their insurance plans. And so when you've got these really high individual out-of-pocket expenses to meet your deductible, $3,500, $5,000, $7,500, sometimes people that are generally healthy know that there's hopefully, unless something awful happens, they're not going to meet their out-of-pocket deductible. So they're encouraged not only by their employer, but also by good sense to find the best out-of-pocket cost for all their health care, whether it be prescriptions or lab tests or other services. So sometimes it may be more cost-effective for you to buy your prescription drug off of your insurance, and it is within your right as a patient to request that. Ironically, up until this point, there have actually been laws in our insurance contracts or part clauses in our insurance contracts that have prevented us, the pharmacy, from informing you, the patient, that there's a cheaper alternative because your insurance company has prohibited that. And if you've opened a newspaper lately, especially the Columbus Dispatch or the Kent Repository, you can probably guess which one of these particular insurance companies that has been in the news about 48 times in the last year is doing this. But happily, there's a new law, and as of 2020, there will be no more gag clauses, as it's called, and we, the pharmacy, will be able to freely discuss with you your full options without you prompting us. But right now, if you walk in the pharmacy and say, hey, what's a better value for my dollar, we can tell you. So please, talk to your pharmacist. We want to be your healthcare partner.
And we want to save you money. We want you to stay healthy, be healthy, and stay healthy. So what are we doing in our stores these days as far as screening goes and ancillary services that help keep you healthy?
The screenings have been very exciting lately. We've had some opportunities to expand our scope of practice, and one of the things that we've had the opportunity to do is do some more in-store lab testing, and we run it with machines that we have at the pharmacy. They are ClioWave machines, and we are able to offer a number of lab tests now that have been very well received by the community for the same reason. A lot of patients have higher deductibles, maybe their lab fees are higher, and we're able to offer these at a fair price and still save the patient money. So the most popular lab tests we've been offering so far are lipid profiles with glucose. We can do those for $25. You get a complete breakdown of your total cholesterol, HDL, LDL, and you also get glucose reading with that. and that's $25. We can do a hemoglobin A1C, which is a really important benchmark for patients that have diabetes, and those are $25. Both of these tests can be done on demand, and you get results the same day. So it takes about 5 minutes each test. So it's really nice that you have the opportunity to have the test done. You can ask the pharmacist questions that's running your test at the time, and we can help you work with your provider if you need to be seen for a follow-up appointment. We're also doing thyroid TSH tests. Those cost $37. That test is a mail-in test, but it usually only takes about 5 to 7 days to get your results. And we can do vitamin D tests now in the store too, and they're $55. So living in the Midwest, we finally get some sunshine now, even though we have storms threatening here in the next couple days. But, one of the things that vitamin D is really important for, it's important for your immune system, and it's an important vitamin in a lot of metabolic activities. So it's highly possible that you may not get enough vitamin D from sun exposure in the Midwest. So don't overlook that. That's something that we could test for at the pharmacy. We also have the opportunity to test for strep and flu. So if it's been a busy day and you don't want to go sit at the urgent care for a couple hours, you can pop into the medicine center and we could do a rapid flu or rapid strep test for you. And then we can touch base with your doctor if it turns positive to see if therapy is warranted. So that's something that's an opportunity. And again, it's going to be less than the cost of your copay to your local urgent care. So that's something that we're excited about, and we're trying to be a more complete healthcare provider for you at the medicine center.
How about we take a break here, JD? Okay. You're listening to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy.
You're listening to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy and your hosts, pharmacists Paul White and Brad White. Remember, you can get more information right now by visiting medshoprx.com. That's medshop.rx.com. We'll be back with more of Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy in just a moment.
Hi, this is Brad White, your medicine center pharmacist. Are you paying big bucks for a little blue Viagra pill? There's a better alternative. Starting at only $4 per dose with a prescription from your doctor, the Medicine Center Pharmacy can prepare a sildenafil or tadalafil tablet that melts in your mouth for an affordable price. This allows you to take care of business and still have money left over for dinner and a movie. The Medicine Center Pharmacy has 4 locations in Stark and Tuscarawas counties. We're here to keep you healthy and save you money. Give us a call at 330-339-4466 for more information.
With a heart attack, every second counts. Every moment the blood supply to your heart is cut off or reduced leads to heart damage or death. Mercy Medical Center can stop a heart attack in record time. Mercy is the only hospital in the nation that can open a blocked artery right in the ER, just minutes after arrival, saving lives and preventing further heart muscle damage. That's because Mercy's Emergency Chest Pain Center was America's first to achieve full accreditation and the first to install a fully functional cardiac catheterization lab just a few steps away from our ER doors. The average time in the U.S. from ER arrival to opening of a blocked heart artery is 64 minutes. At Mercy, thanks to our ER cath lab and the area's most experienced emergency heart care team, it's faster. We're capable of opening a blocked artery in as little as 5 minutes. If you have heart attack symptoms, get to Mercy. We can stop a heart attack in record time. To learn more, visit cantonmercy.org/heart.
Spring is finally here. It's time to beautify your home with stunning stained glass. Studio Arts and Glass will custom design a traditional bevel glass window or add elegance to your contemporary space. The gift shop's open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Call 494-9779 for our stained glass class schedule or to make a live succulent wreath. Go to studioartsandglass.com for more information.
Spring is here, which means it's time to protect yourself from colds and allergies. We at the Medicine Center Pharmacy are helping. Save on our Quality Choice line of products during our buy one, get one free sale. The Quality Choice brand is the same as national brand items, but without the price tag. Stop in any Medicine Center Pharmacy and stock up on all Quality Choice products, including skincare, cold and flu, allergy, pain relievers, feminine products, first aid, and more. Mix and match all Quality Choice and save big. Free item must be equal or lesser in value. Visit medshoprx.com for more information. Welcome back to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. Brad and I are discussing opportunities to save money at the pharmacy, pardon me. Okay. We kind of killed the discussion about the financial issue anyway, didn't we? We are now down to compliance packaging. And we have numerous things and ways we can package your meds. So, Brad, why don't you tell us?
All right. Well, we got a couple things going. One of our most popular things lately has been to put medications in these little strip packs. And they're really convenient and they're nice because, this morning I was rushing out the door to get here to the radio station on time, and I was trying to fill my little vitamin container, and I'm thinking, I don't know why I'm not putting my vitamins in these. These strip packs are set up to be real convenient. They're designed to be one packet is one dose of medicine. So this one little baggie could be your 8 o'clock a.m. medications. And this next baggie could be your noon medications, and so on. So rather than have to open a bottle and fish a pill out or a capsule out and then try to remember an hour later, did you take it? This is a great way for you to stay organized and even mobile. So if you're going out to lunch with your friends, you can take your medication with you in a baggie. It's heat sealed in a nice little airtight container, so it's protected from moisture and things like that. It's not going to be rolling around in your purse or your pocket. So this is something that's been great for both to help people stay organized, to be efficient. And even the best of us get busy at times and forget things. So it's real easy to look at your dates on the package and see it's 8 a.m. and maybe you missed your 8 a.m. dose and it's 9:30. You can take it now and you can get caught up. So we offer some other compliance methods too. We offer a punch card also that I don't have a sample of today, but this is really becoming our most preferred method of medication adherence packaging. And we still do bottles, but sometimes a different method is more convenient for people. So we have everyone from patients that are senior citizens that use this to truck drivers or executives that travel a lot and don't want to take all their bottles through the airline security and things like that. So again, ask us at the Medicine Center on how we can help make taking your medication easier. It really doesn't matter if it's one medication or a dozen. We can help make that simple and efficient.
And we still put them in bottles if you want. But I and many of the people that I know, when you get to the point where you're taking 2 or 3 meds, and the average American, 51% of America takes a prescription medication. And the vast majority of those are taking 3 to 4 at a time. So forgetting to take your meds is not good. And packaging of these two sorts certainly makes a lot of sense. You can't set an alarm clock for everything. So,
there might be something else to touch on here because I don't think most patients are aware of this. But, your physician and your pharmacist often may initiate conversations with you about activities to have the best interest in your healthcare. And believe it or not, your insurance companies are holding both pharmacists and your physician responsible for your healthcare. And this may be one way to help you be more responsible for your healthcare too. Medications that people don't take don't work. So if you have situations like high blood pressure or high blood sugar or diabetes, at the pharmacy, we're not hounding you to get your medication to sell you more prescriptions. We're trying to keep you healthy and well based on the therapy your doctor's prescribed and keep you out of the hospital and keep you away from complications. So, don't be afraid to ask questions about if you're worried about side effects or things like that, because oftentimes we can work together to either find a medication that might be more tolerable, or maybe you just need a dosage change. But we want to make sure that you have the medications you need when you need them, and we want to make sure that you're also aware how important it is to take them, and it's not just another pill for the point of trying to get you to buy more medication.
And guess what? We also carry the simple things like a pill box, and you can separate your own meds, and we have 7-day pill boxes and multi-day, pill boxes, that sort of thing. So it also gives you the option of shall we say, packaging your own meds in a more sophisticated method. So what about free delivery? Here we're seeing all of a sudden, I just saw lately one of the big chains rolled out, delivery going to be $8. Catch that right?
Yeah, one of my favorite aforementioned pharmacy that I didn't name, and I won't give them the pleasure of dignifying it, is going to charge $8 for same-day delivery or $6 for next-day delivery. And let's see, we've offered free delivery for 25,
longer than
30 years.
Yeah, around there.
To be frank, delivery is not a cheap service to offer. It's a perk. It's something that we've done for decades to set us apart, to be a provider on parallel, to be one to be considered for your healthcare partner. And we want to be your healthcare partner. And the great thing about it is we're all busy. Maybe you work a night shift. Maybe it's not convenient for you to come in during our business hours because you're sleeping during the day. Well, maybe we can arrange a delivery to your home or work at a period of time that might be convenient for your work and sleep schedule. We deliver to homes, we deliver to group homes, we deliver to apartment complexes, we deliver to businesses. Anything's on the table. We just need to basically have a conversation, talk, and schedule it so it works out for everybody involved. And so we try to be efficient and make sure that one of the best ways we can offer free delivery for you and make sure we get everything we need to you in maybe even one visit a month is we like to put you on with our program that we have a health coach. And what they'll do is they'll give you a call about 5 or 6 days before your medications come due. And they'll give you a call. They'll review your medications with you. Find out if you've been to the doctor, if anything's changed, if there's anything you need refills on. And then we'll actively go out and talk to your doctor, get those refills, put your orders together, and then we'll deliver them or have them ready for pickup on the day that you wanted them ready. So the goal is to try to make sure that I have everything you need when you need it, and it is the freshest it can be, because what we'll do is we'll order it when we talk to you so that you'll have the freshest medication we could possibly have. And the goal is basically to be kind of an appointment-based medication pickup for you, much like when you go to the eye doctor or your physician. You know when you're going and what to expect, and we have everything ready for you in an efficient manner, and it also gives you a chance that we can talk about healthcare concerns or answer questions that you might have about your therapy.
Delivery has become huge in all industries. I notice the grocery stores are just many, many deliveries at the store that we shop at, and you can get just about anything delivered to your house anymore. But we think this is the most important item. When we started this delivery service many years ago, it was for people who were homebound and could not get out, could not whatever. But as life become more complex and people work crazy hours and overnight and all that kind of stuff, this became a very valuable service to many of our customers. So that kind of takes care. We do have, how many delivery drivers we have now? We have like eight drivers.
Yeah.
6 vehicles running around all over, the county. So we're there for you. So bottom of the hour, time for the news. You're listening to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy.
You're listening to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy and your hosts, pharmacists Paul White and Brad White. Remember, you can get more information right now by visiting medshoprx.com. That's medshop.rx.com. We'll be back with more of Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy in just a moment.
Hi, this is Brad White from the Medicine Center Pharmacy. Perhaps you've gotten the urge to venture outside and clean up the garage or do some yard work, resulting in muscle aches and pains. If you have sore muscles or aching joints, you may want to consider a prescription pain-relieving cream available with a prescription at the Medicine Center Pharmacy. Our pharmacists can work with you and your physician to get topical pain creams that can be rubbed directly on the source, reducing inflammation and pain. Topical creams avoid troublesome side effects and dependency issues that can be caused by oral medications. The Medicine Center Pharmacy has an accredited compounding laboratory, and it is your source for custom medications. Custom compounded pain-relieving creams, available only at the Medicine Center Pharmacy, where wellness begins. Visit us at medshoprx.com for the pharmacy nearest you. That's medshoprx.com.
Spring is finally here. It's time to beautify your home with stunning stained glass. Studio Arts and Glass will custom design a traditional bevel glass window or add elegance to your contemporary space. The gift shop's open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Call 494-9779 for our stained glass class schedule or to make a live succulent wreath. Go to studioartsandglass.com for more information.
Have you seen our new arrivals at the Half Off and Hot Buy store in Louisville? A great selection of spring clothes for men, women, and children. This is a great time to stop in the Half Off and Hot Buys to see what's new. Lots of spring toys, and it's getting close to Easter. You'll see a lot of Easter Bunny stuff like eggs, baskets, and lots of Easter decor for the season. So get over to the Half Off and Hot Buy store in Louisville next to the Medicine Center Pharmacy, where our quality choice products are still buy one, get one free. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, at halfoffhotbuy.com.
Are you tired of spending time sorting your medication? Hi, pharmacist Paul White for the Medicine Center Pharmacy. A locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, whether you are a caregiver or personally take medications, our pill packets will change how you take your medication forever. Instead of multiple pill bottles, you'll want to receive one easy dispensing box that contains all of your medications in individual packets. Organized by date, time, with instructions clearly labeled, it's simple, convenient, and safe. Call or stop by your local Medicine Center pharmacies in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia. Health Mart, caring for you and about you. You're listening to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. I'm your host and pharmacist, Paul White. Today, Brad and I are talking about pharmacy services and spring allergies, which we're going to tackle next. We have a lot more to cover this morning, so let's get back to the show. So here we are in spring, and my eyes are itching all of a sudden. What about spring allergy season, medications, etc.?
Well, the good thing is we have a lot of options for you at the pharmacy. So I would encourage you to talk to one of our pharmacists at the Medicine Center to ask your questions about your symptoms. If you walk in and you say you have trouble with allergies, the first thing we're going to do is ask you to describe what kind of symptoms. Is it itchy, watery eyes? Is it drainage? Is it something else? Because that can give us a better idea of what direction to send you. Then we'll ask you about health conditions that you may be treating currently with other medications, because we certainly don't want to make a recommendation of something that is going to cause any type of drug interaction or be something that is going to be counterproductive to other therapies you're on. It sometimes also helps to know what you've tried before. Antihistamines in particular that we'll talk about first, those are things that not every antihistamine works the same or works well for every person. Sometimes your own body chemistry matters with respect to how it responds. The good thing is we have a lot of non-drowsy antihistamines now that work well. But first we can cover the old tried and trues. Benadryl and chlortrimeton have been around for years, and they work great for allergies, for drainage, for allergic reactions, from everything from pollen to bee stings. But they make you drowsy, so they might really knock you down. And if you need to be alert, if you need to drive, if you need to climb stairs, if you have trouble with your mobility right now and use a cane or a walker, we certainly don't want to give you something that could impair your acuity, that could cause some problems in that realm. So those would be things that you probably would want to limit your use on. We do have a lot of... They used to all be prescription, and now they're available over the counter. Things like Claritin, Allegra, Zyrtec. All these antihistamines generally are non-drowsy. Generally, one of the three will work well for you. I would encourage you to use some trial and error if you've never tried one before, and not to give up on the first one you try if it doesn't work well. I'll be the first to say that Claritin doesn't really do anything for me, but Allegra seems to work great. So I don't know what it is about the chemical structure of that medication, but that one seems to work best for me. And I have family members where the opposite is true. So it really is person-specific. So the first thing you'd want to do is you'd want to talk to your pharmacist. You'd want to make sure that we're not going to have any drug interactions that are going to be additive. I mentioned earlier Benadryl that could cause drowsiness. If you're already taking a medication that causes drowsiness, those two can kind of be additive and cause more drowsiness. And if you have a glass of wine for dinner, that could really be bad. So we need to make sure we talk about those things to make sure that we're aware of everything going on in your situation.
I read 3 newspapers a day, and one happens to be, it takes me a week to read Farm and Dairy, which of course nobody would think that a pharmacist reads Farm and Dairy, but they had an excellent article in the Thursday edition of this week about allergies, and this is the time of the year they all start and all that kind of stuff. And so it is in this week's edition. It's printed on Thursdays, and I'll try to give you a quick synopsis, and that'll kind of set the stage for maybe the rest of the discussion. But what they're saying in this 5-bullet point article is that you need to find out what allergens are causing your symptoms and take note of when your symptoms start, and make note on the calendar or whatever when they start. Okay, and they're going to vary a little bit every year because of the winter freeze, how hard it was and how long it was. So, but minimize your exposure to allergens. Track pollen counts. You get a pollen count. You probably get it every day on the internet, every day on the TV, in the news, and whatever. So track the pollen counts. And when the pollen counts are high, keep your windows closed at home and in the car. Run your air conditioning. Leave your window open at night. Everybody likes to have fresh air at night and that sort of thing. But in the spring season, when the trees are dropping all kinds of pollen and flowers are popping out and they're dropping all kinds of pollen, even though it might be cool outside, it makes a lot of sense to run your air conditioning and to keep the pollen out from floating around your bedroom. So, and after you spend some time outdoors, particularly if you mowed your yard, or we're digging into flower beds, or we're underneath some oak trees, or whatever, you need to make sure that you shower in the evening, wash your hair, or whatever, so you don't take the pollen to bed with you. And a proactive approach to treating symptoms, so they don't get out of control. Take your meds like now. Take your allergy meds like now before your symptoms get too bad. So if you're a sneezer with the pollen or nasal congestion, we have lots of products that we can suggest a little bit later in the show. So consider a visit if your allergies are really serious. Consider a visit to a board-certified allergist or immunologist. Excuse me. And they can help you determine what really irritates you. You know, they have allergy shots, things along that line. So these are some of the bullet points that was in the Farm and Dairy article. The repository also had a good article, excuse me, a couple of days ago about allergies. So why don't we move on to some of the products, like the eye drops and things along that line?
Yeah, there really are a lot of options. And honestly, I guess sometimes I take it for granted given all the things we have out front, but we already talked about Claritin and Allegra and Zyrtec and those tablet forms of things. There's a lot of things actually also, though, too, that there's antihistamine eye drops. There are nasal sprays. And, you just got to be careful with nasal sprays. Nasal sprays work great and I think are often overlooked in this day and age because they may not be the most pleasant things to use or may not be perceived as the most pleasant things to use. But I'll tell you what, even something simple as an Afrin nasal spray, which is a decongestant if you're having drainage, I mean, it works great as long as you use it the way you're supposed to. You wouldn't want to use that more than twice a day because you could cause a situation where it's destructive rather than helping you. But antihistamine, there's antihistamine nasal sprays. There are nasal sprays that also help. There are some that are called mast cell stabilizers, which help prevent the release of the chemical in your body that actually responds to an allergic reaction. And there's steroid nasal sprays that are available by prescription, and there's some available over the counter now too. Believe it or not, one of the most popular recommendations for seasonal allergies is a steroid nasal spray. And sometimes people get scared when they see that it's a steroid the doctor's prescribed them. But keep in mind that steroid is being applied technically topically to the internal nasal passages. It's not like an oral steroid or an injectable steroid that you're taking that's getting absorbed throughout your whole bloodstream. It's designed to have a localized effect. And that localized effect, what it'll do is it'll help reduce inflammation and swelling of those nasal passages, which should help with the symptoms you're having of drainage and itchy, watery mucus, stuff like that. So that's an option also.
There's something here we ought to pop in here, and that's the saline products like the Neti Pot and actually saline nasal sprays. Okay, and the nasal passages are a filter for just about everything that you breathe in. Okay, and it's been said by many specialists in the allergy field and eye, ear, nose, and throat that you should sort of lavage or wash out your nasal passages as many times a day as you can. And we do have products in our store that have sort of like a nozzle on them, made by Quality Choice, which is sort of a super nasal spray, if you will, and it kind of washes out your nasal passages. And I personally prefer, as opposed to taking pills, tablets, whatever make you drowsy or may have some effect on your blood pressure, I personally prefer nasal sprays, and I've used them for a long time, and I've diluted them because to me the on the market brand name long 12-hour nasal sprays are you can feel a burning in your nostrils after a while if you use them too often. So I dilute them 50-50 or with saline, and that kind of allows you to use them more frequently. Okay, once in a while I have to take a tablet, capsule, pill, whatever. And a couple of the older antihistamines that Brad talked about, like Benadryl and chlortrimeton, chlorpheniramine, which is the generic name for it. One of the side effects is they make you drowsy. So, many of the manufacturers have packaged those products under a sleeping pill sort of name, if you will, like ZZZ, which is one of them. And to me, that's sort of an advantage. But what I find out in the diphenhydramine Benadryl, that you sort of have a drowsy feeling in the morning when you wake up with those. So that's a downside and a good side with the older antihistamines. So that's the way I treat myself. So is it worth anything listening to? I hope you listened. Okay, but dilute those nasal sprays, those long-acting ones with saline. First of all, you can save yourself a lot of money, because you can get 50-50 in dilution and have obviously twice as much to use. So, and try to use the saline nasal spray as often as you can, as opposed to a pharmaceutical grade nasal spray. So we are at the bottom. No, we're not at the bottom of the hour. We're 2/3 of the way through the show. You're listening to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy.
You're listening to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy and your hosts, pharmacists Paul White and Brad White. Remember, you can get more information right now by visiting medshoprx.com. That's medshop.rx.com. We'll be back with more of Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy in just a moment.
Are you sick and tired of waiting at the big chain pharmacies for your prescription? We've all been there. You aren't feeling well, and you go to pick up your prescription, and you're told to come back later. At the Medicine Center Pharmacy, you don't have to wait. We can fill your prescription in 15 minutes or less, and we could even save you some money on your prescriptions. Talk to your Medicine Center pharmacist at any one of our locations in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia. Visit medshoprx.com for more information. Have you seen our new arrivals at the Half Off and Hot Buy store in Louisville? A great selection of spring clothes for men, women, and children. This is a great time to stop in the Half Off and Hot Buys to see what's new. Lots of spring toys, and it's getting close to Easter. You'll see a lot of Easter bunny stuff like eggs, baskets, and lots of Easter decor for the season. So get over to the Half Off and Hot Buy store in Louisville next to the Medicine Center Pharmacy, where our Quality Choice products are still buy one, get one free. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and halfoffhotbuy.com.
With a heart attack, every second counts. Every moment the blood supply to your heart is cut off or reduced leads to heart damage or death. Mercy Medical Center can stop a heart attack in record time. Mercy is the only hospital in the nation that can open a blocked artery right in the ER, just minutes after arrival, saving lives and preventing further heart muscle damage. That's because Mercy's Emergency Chest Pain Center was America's first to achieve full accreditation and the first to install a fully functional cardiac catheterization lab just a few steps away from our ER doors. The average time in the U.S. from ER arrival to opening of a blocked heart artery is 64 minutes. At Mercy, thanks to our ER cath lab and the area's most experienced emergency heart care team, it's faster. We're capable of opening a blocked artery in as little as 5 minutes. If you have heart attack symptoms, get to Mercy. We can stop a heart attack in record time. To learn more, visit cantonmercy.org/heart.
Hi, this is Brad White, your Medicine Center pharmacist. Are you paying big bucks for a little blue Viagra pill? There's a better alternative. Starting at only $4 per dose with a prescription from your doctor, the Medicine Center Pharmacy can prepare a sildenafil or tadalafil tablet that melts in your mouth for an affordable price. This allows you to take care of business and still have money left over for dinner and a movie. The Medicine Center Pharmacy has 4 locations in Stark and Tuscarawas counties. We're here to keep you healthy and save you money. Give us a call at 330-339-4466 for more information.
Welcome back to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. I'm your pharmacist, Paul White. Thanks for joining us this morning, and we will get back to the last segment of the show. So we're talking about allergies. Everybody's got allergies. What do we got next?
Well, I don't think we talked about another very popular thing is nasal irrigation. Another thing that I don't think a lot of people like to talk about, but it is fairly popular, and everybody from Oprah to, I think, Dr. Phil have talked about it before.
Well, he's the guy that made the neti pot, wasn't he?
I don't know if he is, but I know Oprah endorsed the neti pots.
I mean, they were out there. But that type of product has been around since the 1800s.
Yeah.
It's just in a totally different form.
Yeah, it's just been kind of maybe simplified, if you will.
Yes,
and,
yes.
So the neti pot or nasal irrigation is basically another version of what we were talking about earlier with nasal saline sprays. It's basically you're rinsing your nasal passages with saline, normal saline. A couple tips you want to make sure you do. If you're preparing your own saline, you want to make sure that you use purified water or distilled water or boiled water. You don't want to use tap water because there could be some contaminants in tap water which could make you predisposed to getting a fungal or other type of infection which you do not want in your nasal passages. But every ear, nose, and throat doctor we've talked to recommends that there is absolutely nothing wrong with nasal irrigation because, as we also mentioned before, your nose is the filter to the world. So whether you're walking through that dirty, dusty factory or walking down the street and all that maple or elm pollen is blowing in your nose, if you can get those contaminants out, it can reduce your risk of having those allergic reactions and being miserable. So don't discount that as an option. Or you could just use the saline nasal spray if you're on the go, and that can help give you some nasal passages, give them a rinse, if you will.
There are some other things, too. When you sleep at night, you should have your head slightly elevated for proper flow, I guess, of congestion in your nose. And some other things like I talked earlier about air conditioning and keeping the pollen out of your bedroom and out of your house. And so these are the basics, okay? And I suppose, Brad, we ought to jump over to topical products here.
Yeah, I guess we didn't talk about that. And, of course, with seasonal allergies and things blooming, you're soon going to have to watch out for things like both insect stings and poison ivy in your yard or around your home or wherever you play. So, there's a lot of things you can do topically. There are hydrocortisone creams. There are things... if we're talking about allergic reactions to things like poison ivy, they make great cleansing scrubs now. And
you got to catch it.
You got to catch it quick. And so rule of thumb, if you know you have poison ivy in your yard or if you know that you're susceptible to it, come see us at the Medicine Center. We'll show you where the poison ivy scrubs are. It is best to use them immediately or within the first day. Don't be tough. Don't be like, oh, yeah, I got a little poison ivy. It'll go away. And then find out 3 days from now it's on your whole arm when it was just on your hand before. If you can get to that quick, whatever's in these soaps actually gets down in your pores and pulls that toxin out so it doesn't spread. And the sooner you get to it, the better.
And if you can't, obviously not all of us have a tube of poison ivy scrub laying around the house, but wash your arms, your hands, your neck and face and stuff. If you went through the brush, you use some kind of a bar soap or even a liquid soap, anything that you've got handy to try and get rid of some of that toxin that came off of the leaves. And it is really, in some people, I had a case of poison ivy last year. It lasted 6 weeks. So, and some people just simply have to battle it to get rid of it. So there are topical steroids for later on after you hopefully got rid of most of the toxins. So, and again, the pharmacist can recommend to you the hydrocortisone products, topical products. So that's one of the things that's important. Get that stuff off of your skin quickly.
And, one thing to note, too, your pets can bring it in. So if you are allergic to that stuff and Fido's outside rolling around in the grass, just be aware. You don't want him bringing that in and laying in your bed. That could be really bad. So
we're running really tight on time, but just to jump back for a second, we're talking about showering at night. Many people recommend taking a long shower, breathe in the steam from a neti pot. And drink lots of fluids. We didn't really talk about that. This will thin out the mucus, hopefully, and help prevent blocked sinuses. So that's pretty much that subject. What else did we miss in the allergy season?
Well, I think if you know what your trigger is, that is really helpful. So if you don't know what sets you off, try to experiment a little and see if you can't figure it out. We mentioned air filtration. If you know that when ragweed hits, that ragweed's your trigger, do your best to minimize your exposure. Sometimes it's hard if you don't know what is your trigger item, if you will. So be aware that not only can you do well by taking medication in advance of an exposure, if you know that when the flowers start popping that you're going to be miserable, it would be advisable for you to start taking that allergy medication now in advance. Those medications work better over the course of about a week, 10 days, than they do responding to an allergic outbreak already. So don't be afraid to take those things in advance. The Claritin, Allegra, Zyrtex, those things are safe to take on a daily basis. So that'd be something that you could do to kind of be proactive, if you will.
There's eye drops in the marketplace, too, that have antihistamines in them. And one of the things that I learned from my ophthalmologist is that they are very drying with the antihistamine in an eye drop. So you may have to use a secondary lubricating eye drop. But you've got to kind of remember one thing. Your eye will only take 1 to 2 drops at a time, okay? So you may have to alternate them and or wait a little while to use the lubricating eye drop or the soothing eye drop. And one of the things that I've noticed in myself is that the strictly saline eye drops have a tendency to burn. So use the ones with, I believe, methylcellulose. What else is?
Yeah, because those will last a little longer too.
Yeah. So, and there's a million of them in the marketplace. In my looking at them as I go across the counter, most of them have similar formulas. I think Refresh is one of them.
Yeah, and that would be a good example of talk to the pharmacist, because you don't need to spend $15 on a bottle of eye drops when there's a store brand available for $5 maybe. So there's a lot of things that are packaged with fancy names and colors on them that are just duplicates of other items.
And that's the case in the private label line. Our private label line, known as Quality Choice, there's 1,200 items in that private label line. Anything from paper products to eye drops to almost all the major antihistamines are in our private label line. So, including the older ones. So, and I guess we're out of time, and we sort of had fun talking about allergies. And hopefully the allergy season will lighten up a little bit. So we'd like to remind our listeners, if you suspect you have a medical issue, please contact your healthcare provider. Thanks to Mercy Medical Center, Studio Arts and Glass, and of course, J.D. DeAngelis, our producer. As always, we thank you listeners for joining us on Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. Have a healthy week, and we'll see you again next Friday right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy and your hosts, your pharmacists Paul White and Brad White. Remember, you can get more information right now at medshoprx.com. That's medshop.rx.com. Be sure to join us next Friday at this time for Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. The preceding program was sponsored by the Medicine Center Pharmacies.